That's right, it's been such an exciting year for Impact Wrestling. Of course, the return of TNA on the horizon and Hard to Kill, but this year alone, 6 different countries, 3 different continents, events all over the world.
Today is Final Resolution. It's probably the most apropos name you could have because this is bookending the entire era that was Impact Wrestling, and the amount of buzz that came out of the announcement that TNA was returning, you know, those 3 iconic letters that, you know, are synonymous with the likes of AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, that entire era that, you know, birthed this whole, you know, generation of talent that's here today. I mean, the buzz and stuff around that, you partner it with bringing in some of the very best around the world, regardless of what company. You know, people used to call it Forbidden Door. That's just been what Impact and TNA has done for the past few years. And I think, you know, bringing Zack Sabre Jr. in here tonight to tag up with me, not only the New Japan Television Champion, but also, to me, the most unique and gifted technical wrestler in the world today. I think it's just something that gets more eyes on this locker room to say that, you know, he might be one of the best, regarded as one of the best around the world, but we have some of the best as well, and myself, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, the list goes on.
Yeah, excitement, a little bit of jet lag. It's a long flight from Tokyo. If I wasn't jet lagged, I'm sure I could make an incredibly witty pun about a final impacts, and then something about total non-stop action after. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. It's my accent, it's hard to sound sort of sincere, but I am excited.
I think I'm in a pretty unique situation to where I'm maybe the wrestler that has worked here longer than any other wrestler, period. I started with the company in 2003. I've been here through it all, and I'm very fortunate to be in that position. You know, everything I own has been paid for by this company. This company has been my life for more or less the last 20 years. So this is a history-making event. Unique situations like this don't happen super often in pro wrestling, where I can say that I'm going to be a part of the last match in the last show for Impact Wrestling. I always take like a weight on my shoulders as far as like how we do as a company, because I've been here for so long that I feel like it's my responsibility as one of the longest tenured people here to make sure that I do my part to make sure this place is successful for everybody.
I can't think of anybody more fitting to be the person to carry that championship over than somebody who was there in year 1 and has held that championship 10 times. So right now, I'd like to present to you the new TNA X Division Championship belt.
This. Can we get a close-up of this? Thank you so much, Scott.
That's amazing. Look at this. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Championship belts are so cool, and it's so cool to be able to carry one around with me in my bag. I can't really think of a negative. I guess the only negative about having a belt is going through airport security, because then, you know, take it out. Hey, Jim, look at this guy. He's a wrestler. But yeah, it's all worth it to be able to carry around something like this. So cool. So cool.
You want to see the new championship?
Oh, sure. The X belt? Does it look the same as the old one? No, it's like a new, completely new design.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is.
Bigger, heavier. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Bigger, heavier.
Picture, but I haven't seen it in person yet. Oh,
Great.
beautiful. Nice.
Sick.
What's this?
Yeah, check it out, man. Don't go running off, Daniel.
No, that's okay. I don't know. Maybe I might be the
Okay, that's
first
enough.
one.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Today is the last Impact show before they rebrand and switch to TNA. For me, it's probably my 100th match or so. It's been a rough fall with injuries at least. So more importantly, it's been about 6 weeks since I tore my calf, or sprained it. Tear, is that the same? And this will be a bit of a test because this match is going to be long. And see how it goes. But I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I've done all the right things. It's just don't know if it's ready or not. There's always inherent risk, I guess, in life. I used to think like wrestling was so destructive on people's bodies, and it is for sure. But I mean, this happens to people who are athletic or active, or people who aren't athletic or active all the time. So my mindset on that's pretty different. Like, even with the background that I have in physical therapy and strength and conditioning, I'm not a good patient. Like, I wish I were like a better patient sometimes. Like, there's been points where my loved ones have to tell me, well, talk to yourself like you were a patient, and then I give myself good advice. But it's easy to get wound up, like, especially in the acute stages of an injury when you're in a lot of pain, and certainly when you value your movement and your health as much as I do. So for me to lose the ability to move is like pretty damning. That for a week or two is like difficult to deal with too, because you just don't know how it's going to go, right? I mean, I do know how it's going to go. I should know what to expect, but still, when you're going through it, it's not as easy. Pretty much.
Alex has had a hard time lately with his calf. One thing I got to make sure to do is watch out for him. You know, he's my tag partner, and he's also my friend outside of wrestling, so I gotta make sure he's healthy, you know, just in regular everyday life, not just in the ring. And it is mental just as much as it is physical, because we're gonna have to work a style that makes sure he doesn't get hurt worse, while at the same time he's able to contribute to the match, and we can come out injury-free.
I don't worry so much about the content of the match because I'm 25% of this. And this was something that I learned many, many years ago too. When I was a kid and I was in New Japan, I remember doing my first Super Juniors and being very, very nervous. And I lived at the New Japan dojo. My room was next to Jushin Thunder Liger's. And I remember Liger-san giving me advice about the Super Juniors and asking him, how did you deal with nervousness? Like, you've been in all these. He said, I didn't worry about it because I knew my opponents were good. And honestly, like, when they're good, it just pushes you to think at a different level than somebody who isn't necessarily a superstar or isn't necessarily a world-class professional wrestler. So just getting the wheels spinning up here helps a lot, but then having faith that I'll meet them wherever they're going to be gives me a bit of a calmer mind.
2023 has been a rough year. I sustained a tricep injury that kept me out of the ring for 5 to 6 months, and coming back from that, everything felt fine. By the time I got to Bound for Glory, I suffered an injury to my shoulder that kind of kept me out for the past, month or two. But I've rehabbed everything. I'm no stranger to aches and pains, but finally I feel like I'm at 100% physically for the first time since that tricep tear, and I'm just chomping at the bit to, get out there and show what I can do, and do it right before, we kick off this new era of TNA wrestling.
Yep. When you were young, you dreamed of being a world champion, and it was the TNA world champion.
Can I give this to you?
Yeah?
Yeah, this feels right. How's it look? Does it look right?
Looks like it was meant to be.
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you. Oh man, it is heavier, but not too bad. We'll probably sink in a little later, huh? So like when I was coming up, it was like, this wasn't meant for guys like me, right? Because there was very much like a hierarchy, pecking order, and glass ceilings, and so on and so forth. So I always associate this with like Jeff or Kurt or Alan or Joe. It'll take some getting used to on my end. Go put this one back. You guys guard this. I have gotten to this point because I have a certain standard of performance, and you wouldn't put somebody in this position if they couldn't perform. So I do feel a sense of pressure to perform.
I think one thing we've managed to do really well is change our style throughout the years to adapt to the changing landscape of wrestling, to adapt to how our bodies are changing, just getting older, I'm 41 now and Alex is 40. And you have to take that into consideration. But at the same time, we know that fans have a high expectation of what our matches are going to be. And we want to make sure we live up to that while at the same time taking care of ourselves and making sure the fans get their money's worth.
If I paid to see the Foo Fighters and they didn't perform any songs off the albums that I liked the most, which were the first few, I'd be bummed, right? So when you see the Motor City Machine Guns are teaming, you expect certain things. That's absolutely true.
All right, so item 45 on Final Resolution.
Very shortly here tonight, we're going to be stepping in the ring with Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, there's a reason why we are considered the greatest tag team of the last 20 years because of what we do in that ring. And fans have a certain expectations as to what level this match is going to be at. See, tonight they're stepping into our world, the tag team world. And not only are we the X Division champion and the world champion, but we're the greatest tag team of all time. When it's all said and done tonight, you too will realize that. I've never been in the ring with Zack Sabre Jr. before. I don't think Alex has either. So it's definitely going to be new. And like I said, I see something new every time I watch that guy wrestle.
Yeah, how many times you wrestled Zack Sabre Jr.? Zero. Zero for me too. So you're the best technical wrestler in the world? Well, technically, we're the best tag team in the world. And these titles mean we're technically the best singles wrestlers in this company.
I don't think you know what you're gonna get, but you know what to expect when you see all these names. The Motor City Machine Guns, the greatest tag team in TNA Impact history, tagging up against myself, kind of the person that's been, the one carrying the brand for the past few years and getting a lot of notoriety in this for the stuff I do in the ring. And then Zack Sabre Jr., there's a lot of expectations there, and with expectations comes pressure. It gets me super excited to just be able to get in the ring with someone like Zack Sabre Jr. I've followed his career for the past decade, and I think he's one of the most unique talents there are in all the world. If you see Zack Sabre Jr. in a ring, I guarantee, no matter how many matches are on the card before and how many shows you might watch thereafter that don't have Zack Sabre on the card, you're getting something completely unique and special when you see him step foot in the ring. And you can't say that about a lot of talent in pro wrestling. So I'm excited to share a ring with him, get a front row seat to that style that he brings and just the way that, he operates in the ring, and hopefully I can learn something from that.
I did an interview with the New Japan official website where I named Shelly Saban and Josh as the three people in Impact I wanted to wrestle the most. So the next best thing to wrestling, Josh, is getting to team with him. I think we've got a lot of similarities, but we're also very different wrestlers too, so it should be a nice contrast. And then Motor City Machine Guns are one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
That intensity that I bring to the ring, that's something that I know that other people, no matter how skilled they are technically, high-flying, brawling, anything like that, I know that is my it factor. That's my thing to get noticed. That is the thing that the walking weapon is, the standard is, the Iron Man is, that Josh Alexander is. That intensity that I bring to ring, that caution I throw to the wind every time to make sure the crowd gets their money's worth. That's the brand that is Josh Alexander, and I don't know any other way to do it.
Feel good. Calm before the storm. Hurry up and wait.
Yep. Right. Same thing like that, or that's good there?
Yeah, that's good there on that side.
This is like it's a slight vibration, right? It's just going to pick up until this place is full, and especially in this building, the ceilings are going to shake once this place gets full and the show kicks off, and that's when I'm going to be itching to get in the ring.
Yes, there's always going to be a little bit of nervousness, and I think it would be foolish for anybody to participate in this if there wasn't some sort of nervousness, because it's very dangerous. Like, people get hurt all the time. But for me, that's nothing that concerns me. It's not being hit hard, or it's not being put in awkward positions, or it's not necessarily the physical pain from that. It's more so, how's my next week going to look, right? Like, is my body going to make it through this match?
I don't know how I do it. I think it just comes naturally. That's just how I am. I'm a very laid-back, easygoing, kind of a quiet person. And although on the outside it may look like I'm calm, collected, and nothing's bothering me, that doesn't mean that's what's happening on the inside. I just don't show it.
I feel great, man. It's the first time I've had a real wrestling match in this building for I don't know how long. The place where my Impact journey began. It's going to be a place where my Impact journey ends tonight. So. It's very fitting.
This crowd, this building here in Dock Koloff, it's a crowd that showed me a lot of love at a time when I had some people looking at me who were in positions to give me opportunities, and I wouldn't have got those opportunities without a crowd like this. So coming back here after nearly 5 years in Impact since I was signed, part of me just wants to give back to that crowd and show them that show them that I'm very thankful for all their support over the years, because I wouldn't be where I am right now without them. Now, gotta wait for the walls to start shaking in here, for the crowd to start filling up, then anticipation's gonna build, the nerves are gonna come in, play a little bit. And like always, I'm gonna shake them off, put on that headgear, put in my mouth guard, and go out there and do my job.
I'm fortunate to be in a business where this is equal parts mental and physical. Today, I will use my mentation more than my physicality.
I still get the butterflies. I still get nervous, but I know that the more I relax beforehand, the easier my thoughts come to me.
I think for me to be satisfied with this match, it's going to be human chess. Zack Sabre Jr., for my money, outside of Gresham, is probably the best technician in the world. And Josh isn't far behind. And Chris Sabin isn't far behind either. So this is like a true chance to really have a very, very special technical wrestling tag team match. And this doesn't happen often.
Regardless if you're throwing blows, European uppercuts, chops, kicks, you can do the exact same thing with holds and technical acumen, but it comes down to the competition that's in the ring. I know Alex Shelley really well. I know Chris Sabin really well. I know they're chomping the bit to get in there with Zack Sabre Jr., and I know that, you know, when we get in there, we're all competitors at the end of the day. We're all here to make sure that the crowd gets what they paid to see, and what they paid to see is for the four of us to just go out there and show up and show out and give them their money's worth.
I'm very eager to wrestle Zack for the first time. If I'm being honest, just to be able to hang with him, if I can do that, then I would consider this a win.
Wrestling is spiritual to me. It is. It's really, it's self-expression.
I think it's a flow state. There's a couple things you can look for, and it's absence of fear. You don't think about movements anymore. You just do them. And time starts to slow down. Those are kind of the big three as far as sports science goes. And I experience all of those when I wrestle.
I've known for a long time, just by listening to my internal compass, that I was meant to be a pro wrestler. I know that. I think just being in the moment is so important, especially when you're in the ring, because when you're in that ring, nothing else should matter except for being 1,000% in the moment.
Everything does slow down. I'm aware of everything going on all at once. It's like I can see things the way they did in the movie Limitless, right? Without the miracle drug or Adderall or whatever it was supposed to be.
There's a rich pro wrestling history here. These fans are very educated. They know what they like to see. When they give you that feedback, they give you that reaction, you just keep up in the ante and you want to see how far you can bring that crowd along. And it's just a complete adrenaline rush, and hopefully, show the crowd something special.
It's a very special crowd. That's my first time in the ring with mostly machine guns. One of the most important, not one of the most important tag teams, two of the most important wrestlers, hands down, in all of pro wrestling. So long overdue. I'm 20 years into this business, but there's always time for firsts. But I want Alex Shelley one-on-one. I want Alex Shelley one-on-one. Also, I'll take Chris Sabin as well. But Sabin was kicking me in the face, but Shelley was trying to out-grapple me, so I take umbrage with that. So yeah, Shelley, let's find out who the best grappler is. Whether you're champion or not, I don't care, darling. All right, I'll try to be sincere for once. It was an honour to be part of the last Impact event. You know, I'm from the UK, so TNA's always had a huge imprint. So I think, especially for the UK market, the TNA name being back is going to be very special. But yeah, I'll be back. I prefer the TNA logo anyway. And then, I'll try and use my wit to come up with some very good puns. So yeah, see you later.
I'm tired, I'm sore, but I'm satisfied. That first European uppercut that Zack Sabre Jr. hit on Shelley at the start of the match, like you see my eyes bulge out of my head because that sucker, like I felt that just because I know what it feels like to get hit that hard. The sound that makes, that doesn't come easy. So that man had to lay that thing in. And just to start with that, the very first strike that you heard in the match, you know that you can't go lower than that for the rest of the match. So everybody had to up the ante from there on out. And you don't often tag up with somebody, anybody, for the first time and have that kind of chemistry that me and Zack Sabre Jr. had tonight. It was something we both just talked about as we were getting changed into our clothes to like go back to the hotels and whatever else we're going to do right now. But you know, we got in there, we worked really well together, we had a lot of chemistry, and we put on a hell of a match. I think that match met and exceeded a lot of people's expectations for just how good it was going to be. Impact has obviously meant a great deal to me, but as a lifelong TNA fan, those three letters, I'm looking towards the future, 2024. It's tough to say that, you know, I have any one specific goal, but I know my son Jet, he likes me being, you know, Impact World Champion, so I think I got to be a TNA World Champion to satisfy, you know, my son and, you know, probably myself as well.
I'm in a room with a bunch of people, their energy, it's almost too much if everyone's talking. I just can't think clearly. Sorry, I just like being away from people like that. Zack Sabre Jr. hits really, really hard. My chest is feeling it, my jaw is feeling it, my neck is feeling it, my fingers are feeling it. I feel sore, I'm tired, but you move on. That was a history-making match. The last match in Impact Wrestling. It's an honor to be a part of that last match. I've had some very cool history-making moments in this company, and that was one of them, and I'm looking forward to making many more in the future. I think I want to be remembered as the greatest X Division champion of all time. I think that's my goal. I want to hold on that title for a really long time. When they think of who's the greatest X Division champion of all time, I want them to think of me.
I was very fortunate. I was lucky. Oh, dude, I'm so happy my calf is in one piece still, especially after like all the shit they did. But yeah, really, really good, honestly. There's a certain sense of elation after you produce at that level. And like I told you too, like a lot of it was, as far as Zack goes, like wanting to make sure I hung with the guy too. And I think we did that, so I'm very, very happy with that. To actually lock horns with him, it was like, fuck yeah, this guy's sweet. So yeah, as soon as Zack whipped my ass, that was when I was happiest. Like, all right, I gotta step up. I said I wanted to be healthy, and I wanted to get pushed to a new level. Both those things happened. So 2 for 2, I'm batting 1,000. So now we get in the car for 4 hours, and we just got the shit kicked out of us because Zack hits pretty hard. And we go home, and we'll get back 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'll sleep for 4 hours, and I'll wake up and I'll go to the gym, and I'll do this again. And that's the job. And that's why I'm in the position I'm in. It's because these are the demands, right? Like, people complain about certain things in pro wrestling, not understanding, at least in my opinion, this is what you signed up for, dude. And as somebody who stepped away from pro wrestling too, I don't think a lot of people understand that, like, this is not a job. This is a gift that you're able to do this and you're able to do it at a high level. That's an honor and a pleasure. That's not a duty. Like when people ask, what's a quality about yourself that you're most happy with? It's like, oh, my resiliency. Overall, it's my resiliency. It's like I told you before, that belt that seemed so far away from me in 2004 when I signed with this company is mine. We'll see what happens from there on out, right?